important. And just a few words of introduction about UNEP-MAP Barcelona Convention System. UNEP-MAP is the first regional SIS program action plan established under the United Nations Environment Programme back in 1975. The Barcelona Convention is a UN treaty signed also 5 decades ago, to which UNEP-MAP acts as the secretariat. UNEP-MAP and the contracting parties to the Barcelona Convention did 7 protocols, which are the 21 Mediterranean coastal countries and the European Union, have progressively erected a unique, comprehensive, institutional, legal, and implementing framework aiming at the protection of the marine and coastal environment of the Mediterranean as a contribution to the region's sustainable development. This year is very important for us. It marks the 50 years of UNEP-MAP and the 30 years of the amended post-Rio Barcelona Convention to take within the convention the concept of sustainable development of the Rio after Rio. We plan to celebrate this double anniversary at the UN Ocean Conference in Nice, in France, in June 2025. So more specifically, and under this framework, the 19th meeting of the contracting parties to the Barcelona Convention, its protocols in Athens in 2016, adopted decision IG 2219, through which the contracting parties decided to establish the Environment Friendly City Award to be conferred the Mediterranean coastal cities and name it Istanbul Environment Friendly City Award. The award is funded by the kind voluntary contribution of the government of Turkey, and thus its name as Istanbul Award. It is a key and very successful indeed flagship initiative of the Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development, which was also adopted at COP19 back in 2016. Our Mediterranean Sea is our common cultural and natural heritage, and it is a defining element of our identity. So the Istanbul Award aims to recognize and reward the efforts of local authorities to improve the environment and the quality of life, and to promote sustainable development in Mediterranean coastal towns and cities. It aims to encourage municipalities to move towards a more environment-friendly future and also enable them to act as a role model to inspire also other towns and cities. The award is at the same time a tool to raise the awareness of the general public regarding the quality of the environment and the importance of urban issues for sustainable development. Both small towns and metropolitan cities are eligible to apply, and it is highly recommended to develop partnerships with NGOs, scientific community, private sector, or other stakeholders for the submission of applications. As you well know, the Mediterranean faces the 3 major global environmental crises, often as a hotspot, and this is the case, for example, for climate change. The loss of biodiversity is a serious decline in living species on flora and fauna, and more generally in the terrestrial and marine ecosystems hosting them. Marine and coastal pollution, which produces devastating effects on terrestrial, marine, and coastal ecosystems, and climate change, with its destructive effects on the environment and beyond, which we unfortunately all face and know well. Local authorities, local councils, metropolitan authorities, networks, unions of municipalities are the actors that, whatever their competences may be, are always keen to implement with a deep knowledge of their human and territorial realities. In fact, around 60% of the SDGs rely on the actions of local authorities. Through the Istanbul Environment Friendly City Award, Mediterranean cities are invited to demonstrate concrete steps taken and progress achieved to protect the environment, improve the quality of life, and promote sustainable development. The award has been successfully implemented for 4 editions. The winner municipalities awarded in the framework of COP have been awarded in the framework of COP meetings. The 2024-2025 fifth edition will be celebrated during the next COP24 that will take place in Egypt between the 2nd and the 5th of December of this year. You are all invited to apply, and we are confident that this 5th edition will attract an increased number of high-quality applications. We hope that this event and the support provided to applicants by UNEP-MAP Our regional activity center Inforac and MedCities, through the dedicated platform, will help increasing the quality of applications and the competition and visibility of this important award. Some words for the future, based on the experience of the past 4 editions and in the framework of updating the Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development, which expires next year. The Steering Committee of the Mediterranean Commission on Sustainable Development concluded that this initiative should be further strengthened and upscaled as a broader flagship initiative, namely the Mediterranean Network of Zero Net Cities, for the next Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development 2026-2035 that will be endorsed in December in our COP in Egypt. It is expected that this initiative will further promote and support local authorities and the exchange of best practices among Mediterranean cities, the policy dialogue among mayors on sustainable development challenges, as well as the institutional capacity building activities, while at the same time promote networking with similar projects and initiatives. We are looking forward to a fruitful workshop and to a constructive dialogue that will also lead to increased quality and number of applications for the award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elias. Josep?
Yes, buen día, good morning. Calimera, bonjour, buongiorno. Can you hear me well? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for being here with us, for showing your interest. For us, I'm now speaking on behalf of MedCities, the Secretary General, and first of all, I would like to thank United Nations Environment Program Mediterranean Action Plan Secretariat for counting on MedCities to conduct together this session and all the developings of the application process and presentation and awarding this Istanbul Award, that for us is very important because it means the recognition of the local authorities that UNEP-MAP has been showing since many years ago, especially since the creation and the whole convention since the decision taken, I think you said in 2016. So it's very important that the local authorities are seen more and more, and we are we are trying to push this among also the Mediterranean Commission to have this protagonism, not for the sake of having protagonism, but because we are truly convinced, and as you said also, Elias, many of the actions that have to be taken deriving from the protocols and the agreements of the COPs and the Barcelona Convention rely on the role of the local authorities that many times don't have the competencies or the resources. But when we are speaking about reducing the impact on pollution or the generation, land-based generation, which is the majority of plastics to the sea, or coastal activities, or the fishing behaviors because of the consumers are after one species more than others, the protection, etc., etc. So all these kind of measures rely on local authorities and finally on people that live, most of them in more than 60%, and there will be more on the region, around 70%. It's been prospected that will be living in cities and towns by 2050. So I think it's very important that local authorities, mayors, first of all, take awareness of the importance of acting, and secondly, because they are closer to the people, to general public, to create this and to raise this awareness. So it's very important that this flagship initiative, and I want to celebrate in this 50th anniversary, as you said, of the creation of the Barcelona Convention, in the 30th anniversary of the renovation and amendment of the Barcelona Convention, that the importance of this instrument of the Barcelona Convention being a legally, almost like a binding in political commitment that takes decisions by consensus for the protection of our castigated sea. So it's very important for our sea, for the Mediterranean, for the people that lives in. We have a responsibility altogether. We need to act faster. We are running out of time. We are getting the point of no return. We know that we are a hotspot on biodiversity, but we are also a hotspot on pollution and degradation of biodiversity. And as has been said, thanks to MEDEC group report of experts, we are warming 20% faster than the global average. So we need to act, and we need to tell people that all of us need to act. So I want to thank all of you, municipalities, members of MedCities and non-members of MedCities being here, showing interest on what is the Istanbul Award about. And I hope that this session will be, it aims to be very practical, and I hope that hopefully it will be very useful and practical to you. Now we will see a presentation of what's the award specifically about, but then we would like to hear you, and hopefully you, by the end of the session, you will be more than willing to apply and to have finally and at the COP this recognition that also will help you to raise awareness among general public to act. So thank you very much. Thank you for MedCities team, for InfoRac also, and for good session for all of us.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe. Thank you as well, Elias. We are now switching to the next session, which is a general presentation of the award and the broader framework of the Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development. And for this, I'm giving the floor to Patrizia Busolini. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everybody. My name is Patrizia Busolini, and I work for the Secretariat of the UNEP-MAP Barcelona Convention. I will share a brief presentation of the overall framework. Many elements have already been mentioned by Elias and by Joseph, and then the details of the application will be provided by the colleagues of MedCities, who I really wish to thank you also on my side, because now it's many years that they support us efficiently in the implementation of the Istanbul Award, that, as Elias has already said, is one of the most successful flagship initiatives of the Mediterranean Commission on Sustainable Development. So let me share the screen. Julie, maybe you can share the presentation, because now I try to share, but I cannot find it. I don't know why. I'm trying to share it, but I cannot. Okay, it is. I found it. So can you see my screen, colleagues?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So let me give you a briefly the framework where this Istanbul Award fits in. As Elias has anticipated, it is a flagship initiative of the Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development. The Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development, it is a strategic regional framework for cooperation in the Mediterranean. The overall objective, it is to translate at Mediterranean level the 2030 Agenda Strategic Development Goals. It is a cooperation framework that it is led by the Mediterranean Commission on Sustainable Development, which was set up in 1995. So this year is also the 30th anniversary of this commission. The commission, it is an advisory body of the contracting parties. It is this overall objective of translating the SDGs at Mediterranean level. Concretely, it is developed into 6 objectives. You can see the objective here. So we go from marine and coastal areas, resource management, sustainable Mediterranean cities. So this is where the Istanbul Award fits in as a flagship initiative that concretely promote concrete initiative projects and actions from the stakeholders, from the local stakeholder, and in case municipalities, as correctly Joseph has indicated, the municipalities are key actor, key stakeholders in the Mediterranean to promote the sustainability of the cities at Mediterranean level. Climate change, you know, it's really a high top issue in the political agendas, and not only at the Mediterranean level. Green and blue economy and governance. So, and you see also how all this objective has been linked with the different SDGs. Now, Ilias has already mentioned how this Istanbul Environmental Friendly City Award, which is on our side the definition. So it is a city which is in harmony with the sea, utilizing in a sustainable and efficient way its resources. It has been the object of a COP decision. If you Google the number of the decision, you can find it. The objective, it is to recognize, the overall objective, it is really to recognize the effort of those local authorities that invest in this sustainability, in the environmental aspects of the life of the cities, and also promoting at the best extent possible the replicability of these best practices around the Mediterranean. And this is where we are really willing, in the framework of the renewed Mediterranean strategy for sustainable development, also to promote an upscaled initiatives where the Istanbul Environmental Friendly City Award can promote what it has been done so far and share best practices also with the other cities, and promote this network of zero net cities in the Mediterranean. I really, also from my side, I really would like to mention again that the Istanbul Award, it is supported by the kind voluntary contribution of the government of Turkey. Now, as it has been mentioned, the application, it is open to local authorities that have a coast on the Mediterranean Sea. So there is no sites in terms of population, and so it's both small towns, metropolitan areas. It is there is no distinction. To the extent possible, it is encouraged also to develop a partnership with NGOs, scientific community, private sector, and other relevant stakeholders. The application is online and is managed through the platform of Inforac. In few minutes, we are going to hear some more detail from our colleague Arthur. And there is a dedicated help desk where you can, if you have any doubt or question, you can send an email and you will receive very quickly feedback. When it comes to the evaluation, the application has been simplified in order to support the applicants, the municipalities, the cities that are willing to apply to see that the application, it is easier and quicker. Having said this, of course, the 4 categories that are part of the Istanbul Award decision are maintained, meaning nature and biodiversity protection, building environment, social economy and cultural sustainability, planning and management. These are maintained. What have been limited, it's the number of indicative directions, as you will see, that most probably each time that we promote this Istanbul Award, we might change based also on the indications of the contracting parties and so forth. So once, as you might have seen, the application it's open until 15th of April. So we really invite you to those municipalities that are interested to apply and to work on the application as soon as possible to see how it looks and what it is requested and so forth. We have also reduced the number of awards and so forth that are needed in order to support a simplified process. When it comes to the selection and the assessment and evaluation, the process it is very rigorous. There is a 3 phases process. There is an initial screening to ensure that all the eligibility criteria are matched. Then there is a short list. So then all the eligible applications are assessed, evaluated. There will be a short listing of 3 candidate cities that will be developed, and this assessment it is made by 3 independent experts, and then based on this short list of 3 candidates, there will be a final selection of the winning city by a jury, which is composed by the Bureau of the Contracting Party and by the President of the Mediterranean Commission for Sustainable Development, and based, of course, on the ranking proposed by the Technical Committee. I already said some more information. As I mentioned, the methodology, the application has been simplified in order to encourage more cities to apply. The application is only online. It is available both in English and in French. Please use the help desk as much as you need if you have any doubt or question. We are having today a dedicated info-regional workshop in order to not only to show which is the main elements of the application, but also to share with you some a concrete experience from the winning municipality in the previous edition, the 4th edition, the municipality of Genoa, that kindly accepted to be here with us today and share the experience. And also we are promoting a reinforced communication towards all the municipalities in the Mediterranean that to raise the attention on the topic, to raise the attention of this award, to raise the attention on the Mediterranean strategy for sustainable development and all the commitment of the UNEMA Barcelona Convention to these related topics. And finally, a bit more details and some pictures from the past editions. So we started the first edition in 2017, the COP20. The Izmir Metropolitan Municipality was the winner. In the COP21, the municipality of Ashdod in Israel was awarded. Then in COP22, it was the Malaga, time of Malaga to celebrate the award. Last year, as I've already mentioned, Genoa was the winning municipality, and now we are at the 5th edition, at the 24th COP of the Barcelona Convention contracting parties that will take place in Cairo in Egypt from the 2nd to 5th of December, and we hope among you we will have the winner. Voila, thank you very much, and I'm at your disposal in case you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrizia. Arthur, I'm giving the floor to you.
Hi, thank you. Good morning to all. Welcome to the 5th edition of Istanbul Award from Inforac. The colleague of UNEP MAP have already introduced you to all the process. After my presentation, the colleague of MedCity will explain in detail how to fill in the form to participate to the process. I want just illustrate the main tool that can support you in to collect information and to send the proposal for your participation. I share the presentation. You can see the presentation. Okay. So this is the address where you can join the web page. In this web page that I show very fastly now, how is organized. Of course, you will find information about the opening of the call that was started in 29th of November and will be closed the 5th April of this year. You have a first part in which you can collect general information about the process. There is also a video presenting the map coordinator that announced the fourth edition, a previous edition during at the Mediterranean Pavilion during the COP27 for climate. After you have a synthesis of what you, of course, know because you are participating, but have been recalled also today by the colleague. You can find two videos that Inforac have produced for the previous edition, in which not only is celebrated the winner of the edition, but also there are general information about the structure of the competition. In this section, you can find information about the eligibility, because as you know, to participate, there are some basic conditions. You have to be a Mediterranean and coastal city, and you have to provide information about your capacity to promote sustainability in your city. There is a list of frequently asked questions, and we hope that with this one, we have covered the most important points with the support of MedCities. But of course, there is an alias dedicated to you. Behind this alias, there is Inforac. There are colleagues of UNEP Map Coordination Unit. There are colleagues from MedCity. So every kind of question related to the process, related to the registration, technical problem that you can find when you send your application, or also other question that you need to be answered in order to understand some specific aspect of the process, we cover all the possible topics. How is the application process? You need to register, first of all, in this page, and after the registration, you will receive a link to access to the survey platform. It's important know that after submission, you cannot modify your application. In the same page, you can find also the PDF of the application in order to examine it not only online, but also to download it to have a clear picture of the questions that are included. As was recalled before, there are 4 main categories that are included in the application, and for each one, you have a series of macro indicators. In this edition, this application was reduced, simplified, so you have a limited number of questions to answer. And we hope that this can facilitate the participation and enlarge the number of candidates. As I said before, this is the alias yefka.inforac.org, the alias where you can write in every moment you need. This is the template that you have to fill in to make the registration. Simply name, surname, email, solved very easy equation for security. After that, you will receive in your mailbox the link. You have to save this email, because if you start the filling in of the application, you can stop and after continue, but you have to link always from the same link that you received originally. This is an overview of the application when you access directly to the survey. And of course, there are general information that you need to include to identify your city. Some narrative part more general to describe your city and the activity that you have made in order to demonstrate sustainability approach. And these are more specific questions, just an example, in which you have to some time to provide also numerical or specific information. I go very fast. This is a timeline of the different steps of the process that also Patrizia have already highlighted. All the process, as you know, will be concluded with the COP in Egypt, where there will be the ceremony, but the information about the winner will be given before. This is the last part of the website, in which we have put the possibility to register for this workshop, but probably there will be other moment of information about the process. So keep in touch of this on this page, because new meeting will be directly announced here. And this is just the footer. Thank you very much for your participation, and good luck for your application. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arthur and Patrizia, for this key information about the award. We are switching to our third session now, which is the presentation of the application form and process. And for this, I'm giving the floor to Mr. Andrea Moro, who was assessing the applications in the previous editions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to introduce you the application form, illustrating the different parts that have to be prepared. And later, I will have the opportunity also to present some examples from the past editions. Basically, the application form is organized in two sections. In the first section, you will be requested to introduce information, general information about your city, the situation, the actual situation, and the context of your city. So this is narrative text. And then we have 9 macro indicators. This is the second part of the application form, that are organized in 4 different topics. So we are addressing in the application form the issue concerning nature and biodiversity protection with 2 macro indicators, built environment, including 3 macro indicators, social, economic, and cultural sustainability with 1 indicator, and then we have an issue concerning planning and management, including 3 macro indicators. In nature and biodiversity, the 2 macro indicators are dealing with climate change mitigation. It means that in this section, you will have to provide information about how your city is addressing this issue. What is the current situation? What are your plans for the future? If you have, for instance, a SECAP, a sustainable energy action plan and climate adaptation, and how you are addressing also ecosystem protection. In this case, it means how you are dealing with ecosystem services in your cities, how you are protecting biodiversity. The second topic is built environment. In this case, we have 3 macro indicators. The first one is concerning sustainable land use and green areas. So how you are managing green areas in your city, how many of those areas are available, how much they are accessible by inhabitants. And we are also dealing with issues about urban agriculture, urban sprawl, and also, for instance, accessibilities of beaches. We are talking about, you are coastal cities, so also how much beaches are accessible by the inhabitants. Another key topic in this issue is air pollution. So how you are managing the problem of air pollution, what plans you have in force, how you are addressing the limitation of pollution from mobility or other kind of sources. Another key macro indicator is about water. In this case, you will have to provide information about availability of potable water, quality of the water, wastewater treatment, and your plans for managing this very important resource. We have one indicator in social, economic, and cultural sustainability. It's about green economy and eco-innovation. In this case, the topic addressed is the one of concerning the green jobs. If you are adopting circular economy approaches, if you are using green public procurement practices, how you are promoting eco-innovation in your city. And finally, we have 3 macro indicators in the field of planning and management. Environmental governance means if the city has a vision for the future concerning sustainable development, and what are the characteristics of the policy framework to support this vision, how you have organized the governance of sustainable development in the municipality. The second macro indicator, planning, monitoring, and evaluation, is assessing how you are planning sustainable development, if you have a general plan, if you have sectorial plans, how those sectorial plans are interlinked, are integrated, if you are also adopting a participatory approach in planning. And finally, communication and outreach is an issue concerning the topic of awareness raising. If you are conducting campaigns towards the citizens to raise their level of awareness about sustainable development, and also if you are promoting education and training campaigns. So these are the different, let's say, topics addressed by the application form. The nine macro indicators foresee the provision of information organized in different sections. First of all, you have to answer some questions, just a yes or a no, that gives the opportunity to understand your general approach to the issue. And then you have to describe the present situation. This is a text box, 1,000 characters. And as you will see later, I will show you that each box contains a guiding text. So you can, the kind of information you have to provide is described in the offline application form that you can use as a guideline. I will show it later. So in this box, you have to describe the current situation. What is the state of art? Each macro indicators also foresees some, let's say, sustainability indicators. These are values that you should introduce, like the level of CO2 emissions, so the percentage of green areas in your city, etc. This section, it's important because providing numeric values, you are providing an objective information for evaluating the current situation. Those indicators are dealing with the current situation. In the case you don't have this information, don't worry. It's important but not mandatory. So if you have it, it will help in the evaluation because you are providing some objective information. If you don't have this information, we will rely on the description made in the text boxes. After describing the present situation, you will have to describe the progress achieved in the last 5-10 years. This is a very important, let's say, information because you will be evaluated also in terms of how much you progressed over time. So it's very important here to describe your baseline, your starting point. What was the situation 10 years ago? And so that we can understand how much you progressed in the last 5-10 years up to the current situation. So here it's important to describe what kind of plans you did, what kind of measures you implemented. If you are able also to provide some figures that would help, you should put us, the evaluators, in the condition to really valorize, understand your engagement in improving the situation in the city. But we also have we look also at the future. Another box in text box in the application form is about the plans for the next period. In this case, you have to describe what are your plans and provide an indication about how you think to achieve your targets in the future. And finally, there is a key reference section where you can provide links, additional information to let the evaluators to go more in detail about your progress, your current situation. This is how it looks, the application form, not the online version, of course, but you can download from the, the award webpage this offline version of the application form. As you see, you can, here you find the different text boxes concerning the description of the present situation, measures, progress achieved in the last 5-10 years, and the plans for the next period. Inside each of those boxes, you have some guiding text. So there is written provide information on the provide information about and what we expect to find in this section. And this is made for each single of the 9 macro indicators. In the first part of the application form for each description of indicators, you can find the approach to the issue. So you see there are questions, yes, no. It's very simple, and then you find the place for introducing the value of the quantitative indicators associated to the macro indicators. For instance, here it is request, if you have this information, what is the amount of greenhouse gases expressed in tons of CO2 equivalent per inhabitant that is emitted in 1 year, but in your city. So this is basically an overview of the information that you have to provide for each indicator. If you don't have this information, I mean the quantitative indicator, I mean don't worry. In any case, the macro indicator will be evaluated taking into account the information introduced in the different text boxes about the current, past, and future situation. How will be evaluated your application? There will be a team of 3 experts, and we'll go through your application. We'll use a peer review approach. So it means that the three experts will share the evaluation of the application form, and then we'll have a cross a cross assessment, sort of peer review assessment among us, in the way to have a very strong consolidated evaluation. We'll assign a score to each key section for each of the 9 macro indicators. This is an example where you have an evaluation about the present, past, and future situation. It's possible to assign a score ranging from 0 up to 3, and then we calculate as a weighted sum the total scoring. In this example, for instance, this application will take a 2.54 score for ecosystem protection. The scores range from 0 up to 3. So coming back again on the content, present situation, it's the state of play. If possible, please include data, numerical information, also about your governance arrangements and how are organized the responsibilities in the municipalities concerning the different topics. This is, for instance, an example. This is about the macro indicator greenhouse gas emissions, so mitigation. And for instance, here in 1,000 characters maximum, so it's not really long text. You have to provide information about the level of greenhouse gases emissions today, mention what are the targets adopted by the municipalities, the actions implemented actually to reach those targets, what are the strategies, the action plans that are in place to reach those targets. Describe if there are good practices, if there are front-runner projects that you are implementing in the cities. And we also ask to mention if there are constraints for historical, geographical, social, or economic reasons that are influencing, maybe reducing your capacity to act in this specific field. For the quantification of the indicators, for instance, the CO2 emissions in 1 year, you can rely on a calculation guideline that is also available from the award website. In this guideline, it is described the process to calculate the indicators request in the 9 macro indicators. And the description of each indicator basically includes what is the intent of the indicator, how it is measured, the connection with the SDGs, and then the assessment method, how to calculate it, and where you can find the data for calculating, for instance, the CO2 emissions or other kind of indicators. This is an example, for instance. It is an indicator about availability of green areas. As you see here, there is an intent, the indicator, the unit of measure, square meters of green areas per inhabitants is addressing SDG 3 and SDG 11. The reference is an ISO standard, and where you can find the data, it's usually municipal park departments, planning departments, etc. And then there is an assessment method. The assessment methods are usually quite simple. This method, for instance, is very simple because just you have to calculate the overall quantity of green areas and then divide this quantity by the city population. The section concerning the progress achieved in the last 5-10 years, it's important because again we have to understand the trend, how much you progressed, and also in this section it's important to provide, if possible, data that make evidence about the progress the city achieved. For us, basically, in the evaluation process, the situation like it was 5-10 years ago, is like the baseline, so the starting point. Here you have really to describe what you did in the last 5-10 years to reach the actual situation. This is an example. It's always dealing with mitigation. And so, for instance, you have to provide information 1,000 characters, again, maximum. What are the measures you implemented to reduce greenhouse gas emissions? In particular, you should describe mitigation strategies, action plans, adopt measures you implemented, policy instruments you have adopted, and also how you collaborated maybe with other governmental bodies, maybe the regional level, the provincial level, the national level, also how you collaborated with service providers, enterprises, the different kind of stakeholders. Also here, if you provide numerical figure and data, it will be very useful. Plans for the next period, be realistic, because we also have to evaluate basically if what you are somehow expressing as a plan for the next period is achievable. So try to describe achievable, measurable future improvements. And you should describe basically how you are planning to reach your future targets and what measures you plan to activate for reach those future performances, how you think to organize yourself, where you think to find the budget necessary to finance this future development. Possibly try to express your future targets in a measurable way. This is an example again for mitigation, considering the plan for the next period. So you should say, express what are your future short-term, long-term mitigation objectives. We plan to reduce our CO2 emissions by 20% in 15 years, whatever. Try to describe the timescales for reaching your targets and the necessary resources. If you have formal commitments, if you are planning to allocate a budget for reaching those results, if you are foreseen to allocate staff for, let's say, your future plans, if you are thinking to implement monitoring evaluation schemes. Consider always that is a text of 1,000 characters, so it's not really extensive, but try to be as much as possible complete in addressing all those different aspects. There is also the opportunity to introduce key references. It's very useful, for instance, if you can introduce links to documents available online. For the evaluators, it makes possible to go more in depth in your actual future plans, etc. You can provide links to your SECAP in the case of mitigation, or other kind of documents in the case of other indicators. For us, it's very important because it's possible for us to better understand what you are describing in the application form. And this traceability of information is very important. So, as I told you, we'll rank each macro indicator, assigning a score. Each macro indicator will have a score ranging from theoretically 0 if the macro indicator is blank, but it never happens, up to maximum 3 points. And these scores will be used then for shortlisting the 3 final candidate cities. We'll also, of course, we'll assess the quality of the application form. It's very important to complete all sections, not to leave blanks, some text boxes. As I already told you, numerical indicators can be skipped if you don't have information, but please don't skip the text boxes. Don't skip the description of the present, past, and future situation. The completeness is a very key element in the evaluation. Provide, please, a sufficiently detailed information so that imagine that we have to understand. Please provide sufficient information to communicate to the evaluator the information you want us to take into consideration. This is how we are basically, this is a simplified guideline about how we assign the score. This is for present situation. So it's a sufficient, good, excellent level of description, and the same is done for the progress achieved and the plans for the next period. So more detailed you are, more information you are providing, please follow the guiding text, more higher will be the score assigned to your application. What will happen is that at the end we'll have a score assigned to each of the 9 macro indicators, and the maximum available score is 27. If you take 3 in all the 9, is 27. The score assigned to the application form in any case will be just the sum of the score assigned to each macro indicator. So this will allow us to rank the different application and identify the ones that can potentially win the final award. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for this comprehensive presentation of the application form and the process. We are going to have a coffee break before moving to the next session. So we will be back at 10:30, and I kindly ask you just to mute your microphones, and let's see each other at 10:30. Thank you. Minutes to be sure everybody is back. Okay, let's start. So thank you very much, everybody, for being back. Now we are going to have a session about the presentation of practical experiences of previous winners of the award, namely representative from the municipality of Genoa and a representative from the municipality of Izmir that will illustrate their experience. So I'm now giving the floor to Mrs. Stefania Manca, the Sustainability Manager of the municipality of Genoa.
Many thanks, and happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to think to Genova. And I'll share the screen. I hope you can see. Okay,
Yes.
I hope. Yes, perfect. So first of all, I would like to tell you and to tell to all the participants that for Genoa, the Istanbul Award represent an opportunity also to collect and to gain data of our city in a different way, because all the cities has data, all the cities knows that data, but they are not so able to use the right data for the right purpose. Sometimes this happens because we collect a lot of data, but sometimes we are not able also to measure the right things. And so in this case, the Istanbul Award and the matrix of the indicator for us has been inspiring, because they help us to work in a different way, and to be a city that could be measured in an international settlement. So in a different way, this work inspires also us to develop a framework of indicators that we use currently to measure the progress of the city toward 2030 and 2050. So thank you, first of all. And then indeed, it is a challenge to fulfill the form, because it is not super easy. And this means that you need also to work together with other colleagues for other departments, and also colleagues that are external to the organization sometimes. But the award is also generous with time, and this help all the parties to convey together to try to fulfill this dossier. And the dossier could be also used in different ways. One field, not only for the award, but we as a city are an example, because we use it in the day-by-day management, because it comply a lot of projects, it collect a lot of data, and indeed it is useful for those cities that does not have a plan for the future, so already approved, maybe could be. In our case, instead, we have several different plans already approved, and the induction to have this plan has been some tragedies of the city. We talk about resilience, coastal resilience, and so our city has been hurted so many times. And at a certain point, we change our vision and we look at the future. So learning from the past, but especially inspiring for the future, knowing the scenarios, and embedding all the existing plan in other plans, but other overarching plan, voluntary plan. That means the commitment, especially of the politician, is high, and then the decision maker, the technician, the practitioner could work together for one objective, that is to become more resilient to climate, especially for a coastal city, but also look at the social component, the governance component, and the economic component all together in a sort of ESG approach for a city to the future. This is quite innovative in this case. So we decide also to, well, what we are obliged to have, it is a unique management document every city has. It is linked to the political part and then the decision making part. And so it is the day-by-day management of a city. And so an urban plan, every city has. A civil protection emergency plan, if all the city has. A sustainable mobility or mobility plan, We put all together, then we comply to become a sustainable city towards 2030, also using the CCAP paradigm, and we use another strategy, that is the resilience strategy of the city, that is the Lighthouse City strategy. It is online in English, so you can go and see. And it was a strategy it burns from the super bottom up, even if behind there is a huge amount of reference that we study to define the scenarios of the future. We analyze more than 100 of scenarios, and that scenarios told to our city that the super mega trend of our century needs to be taken into consideration: climate change, demographic change, digital transition. We namely use three assets to deploy our initiative and also to gain the response from the citizen on one hand, the employees, the enterprise, so the public-private component, and also the third sector component, so the association and etc. in three assets: the gray, the green, and the soft. Easy because the blue is embedded in the green, because green economy, blue economy are, well, two faces of the same, of the same pieces, no, of the same issue. And so the gray asset look at the innovative and also solution for technology and infrastructure. The main driver that is behind is the digital transition. The urban regeneration, that is namely the green asset behind, has the climate change as a super driver. And then the soft asset that is related to the communities, the people, and the SMEs, the enterprise, the private sectors that help the economic component of the city to grow up, has its mega trend as a boost the demographic change, because we are European, so we are facing a demographic change in our cities, all of us. And the three goals are easy to understand: innovation, anticipation, possible anticipation of the issue, and then the strengthening. So how to become more robust in this case. So this is the slides are available, so you can have a look. And what the people ask to us are exactly these three other component. Not only the people, the citizen, because we met a lot of people, and also they help us to draft the roadmap. The roadmap for the municipality is easy. We need to innovate our municipality service for the people, not only the infrastructure, not only the basis, no, the baseline, but we need to be more keen and close to the people. Sometimes looking at ourselves and telling to us, are we doing the right thing? We are measuring our progress in the right way. Are we doing the proper thing towards the future? Because we need to give a perspective to the people. Otherwise, every volatile market occurrences, every geopolitical issue could let the people to be scared and not they could not trust anymore on the public authority. Instead, the municipality is the front line with the people. So we need to become more innovative, but also keen and close. This is our timeline, so concrete milestones, and especially for me, to be honest. And then this is the core of our plan, in which we represent and we collect all the projects of the municipality. Currently 250 projects. They are currently flowing down in the action plan, and they are measured using the indicator. And doing this exercise and this work for us has been not simple, but quite a bit more simple. To testify in the Istanbul Award dossier what we already did in the past, what we are doing now, and especially what we would like to do in the future. That was the key arguments that has been shown just before by Andrea as an expert. And in this way, for us, has been easy to understand and to select the project that better than other could also have data and indicator to fulfill the form. So, and this has been for us a good exercise. We learn doing this application. We receive a special mention in 2021 for the effort. I mean, probably, I don't know. And then we received the award in 2023. Indeed, this year we will not apply because we need time to have something new to tell the story. And so indeed in the future we will apply again, also because for us it is way also to update the project and etc. I don't want to bore you, but these 12 actions that you see in the right side are a super collection of projects inside. And indeed, the Lighthouse City strategy is truly connected with the 2030, the action, well, the new urban agenda and a lot of other directive and initiative. And okay, the action plan comply all of them, but it look at 2050 because it was one way to go, using the commitment to a secure target. 2030, 2050 are two secure targets on which we need target, because we need to know where we are going, where, when especially, and what we are doing today to achieve that goal and that target. And so I'm grateful for the international communities that give us target, because they give us perspective. And this is incredible, powerful for a city. In the action plan, we identify over the 3 assets 6 quality for the city. These are 6 qualities that are recommended by the international community. Every city must be, well, we would like to do, but we would like to be especially a more livable city, a city with new capacity for sustainable development, especially, and the attractiveness. This means the success of a city also, not only for the resident, the inhabitants, but also for the population and the visitors and the touristic asset, with a sustainability approach, looking at the issue and looking at the opportunity, just to balancing both and enabling to grow in an equilibrium in a prosperous way. We all of us need to, to become more inclusive, because the world is changing, the people are moving, and the differences are our strength. And so we need to become more inclusive. And that is an obvious, the sustainability asset also, and an equilibrium and a balance of the well-being. So a city that understand its communities, their communities, and it is also keen and innovative in the approach with them, because we need to change, but we need to change together, and not in a top-down approach or even only bottom-up approach, in an equilibrium again. And I don't want to bore with all the action, because there are a lot, but I'll go just flowing, just to not stomachache no one. But the issue is this action for us is essential, because it look at the metrics. So how we can measure the progress of the city using indicators. And again, thank you for the work done in the Istanbul Award, because it inspired. Okay, we use other indicators because we need to compare the city with the other cities, well, in Italy, but we are working to scale up this. And we develop this framework of indicator using the donut economy paradigm also. So we combine more or less the approach of the Istanbul Award as a matrix of indicators, and that one that has been deployed for the donut economy. And we try to have an envelope where we can draw it together. And then in a nutshell, some key action according to the fact that as a city, we have been the first big city in Italy that signed the mission charter restore our ocean and water. We signed 2 charter. We are in the Med Cities network, happy to, and we are developing our strategy, especially right now. I would like to pose your attention on this last point. We are developing a specific project to restore our coastal line. And this is quite new. It is newborn, just to testify our continuous commitment in this case. So this is, in a nutshell, I hope to have given to you some insight. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefania, for this very inspiring presentation. And now we are going to have other insights from another winning city, Izmir, that won the Istanbul Award. That was the first city to win the Istanbul Award. So Saglar Tökel is going to make this presentation. Saglar, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon. It's already afternoon right now here in Izmir. My name is Çağlar Tükel, and I am an engineer at the Directorate of Climate Change and Clean Energy. I'm delighted to greet all of you from the beautiful city of Izmir, Turkey. It is truly an honor to be here today, sharing our experiences and insights. So as we all know, climate change is one of the most pressing challenges in our time, and creating sustainable and livable cities is at the heart of our efforts. So today I will take you through some of the key initiatives and progress we have made in this direction. As we begin, it's essential to understand the unique characteristics of Izmir. Izmir is the third largest city in Turkey. It's a vibrant Gulf and harbor city, strategically located on the Aegean coast. Geographically, it spans 200 kilometers from west to east and 170 kilometers from north to south, covering a total area of 12,000 square kilometers. It is extensive area, includes 30 towns, highlighting the diversity and the complexity of our region. With a population close to 4.5 million, Izmir is a major hub for industry, agriculture, trade. This makes a crucial player in Turkey's economy, but also presents unique challenges in terms of sustainable development and climate action. Building upon the foundation of the Paris Agreement to 2015, Izmir has committed to ambitious climate goals. So we committed to reducing emissions by 20% initially, and then further increased this to 40% in 2030. To support these commitments, we developed a sustainable energy and climate action plan to guide our actions. Also, under the Green Cities program by EBRD, Izmir also created the Green City Action Plan, or GCAP, reinforcing our commitment to sustainability. In 2022, Izmir has been selected as one of the 112 climate neutral cities. And later on, Izmir has become the only city in Turkey to receive the climate neutral city mission labels after completing the climate city contract. So we are dedicated to achieving our net zero target and contributing to the global climate action. Our climate action efforts in Izmir are primarily, as I told you before, primarily driven by two key plans, Green City Action Plan and Sustainable Energy Climate Action Plan, also known as CCAP. CCAP and GCAP focuses on 11 sectors, basically buildings, energy, transportation, waste management, water management, land use, environmental and biodiversity, agriculture, forestry, health and tourism and governance. So in total, we are implementing 61 distinct actions across these plans, addressing various aspects of sustainability and climate resilience. CCAP has a citywide emission inventory. I will tell you a little bit more later. And mitigation actions and risk vulnerability assessment and adaptation actions. Mitigation efforts consist 34 actions focused on reducing greenhouse gas emissions within the city. And adaptation efforts includes 24 actions aiming at building resilience and to the impacts of climate change. Just briefly mention about our Izmir's greenhouse reduction scenario, outlining our targets. In 2018 is our base year. Izmir's total emissions were 25 million. So in our 40% reduction target aims to reduce emissions by 7.7 million tons by 2030. As you can see, so we excluded industry here. So we only take account of emissions apart from the industry and agriculture. So it is like a 3.3 ton per capita emissions today. It's going to be decreased to around 2 tons per capita in 2030. So moving on to the transports, we are now focusing on our strategy to reduce greenhouse gases in the transportation sector. Our goal is to create a carbon-free, sustainable transport system in Izmir. In Turkey, municipalities have limited mandates to ban over private car use. Therefore, our approach is to incentivize and promote sustainable alternatives. So we prioritize active transportation, such as walking and cycling. So we are expanding and enhancing our public transport system, including transport systems like metro, light rail system, trams, Gulf ferries. We are also promoting public transport, focusing on electric and low carbon buses. Further, to reduce the emissions, we are encouraging the use of electric vehicles and implementing smart traffic system. Izmir has a very conservative, comprehensive plan for sustainable transport under the Izmir Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan, also SUMP Izmir. So this is the EU-supported project running from 2022. Now we are completing this, so next month, so we will be completing this plan. This plan is about shaping the mobility policies and actions for the city. It focuses on all types of transportation with the goal of making mobility more sustainable. It is designed to create well-structured changes that fit Izmir's long-term vision. Key goals are to get more people walking and cycling, encourage shared mobility, and boost the use of public transports. So the SUMP project is structures under 7 key major packages, encompassing a total of 100 individual measures. These packages represent as a comprehensive approach to improve urban mobility. First package focuses on the active mobility, encouraging walking and cycling as a sustainable transport options. Second one centers on shared and public transport, aiming to enhancing efficiency and accessibility of these services. Smart mobility management is the third package, is also important. And environmental sustainable and climate resilient mobility is the fourth package, emphasizing eco-friendly solutions and climate adaptations. The fifth package is accessible, inclusive, safe mobility, which ensures that the transportation is accessible to all members of the community. Urban logistics is another area. And finally, the seventh package is collaborative planning, which is very important, I think, highlighting the importance of the shareholder engagement and integrated planning. So these 7 packages provide the holistic framework for the creating a more sustainable, efficient, and equitable urban mobility system. So some of the concrete actions. Izmir has a significant existing rail system. So it is like 6 lines covering 200 kilometers with over 100 stations. So in 2023, it served nearly 210 million passengers. So every day, like 1.5 million passengers use public transportation. So this much of traveling by public transportation reduces 230,000 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. So this is not enough for us. Major expansion is underway. There is a Buca-İçyol Metro. Now it's the biggest public investment in Izmir, which will add another 14 kilometers, 11 stations. There will be other projects, which is one of the projects we will be using it instead of a railway system. We will be using a tram troller buses, which will be dynamically charged electric buses. So it's going to be the first in the Izmir's history. Is also the electric buses and using the electric service vehicles are important. We've been operating 20 electrical buses since 2017. So our infrastructure is well established. So we have the fuel and intermediate charging units are all available. So we are planning to increase the number of buses. So, in addition to these buses, we have also like around 126 electrical service cars operating like for 5 years. So we have also charging station and parking in the parking areas as well. So, the electricity used in the electric buses comes directly from power plant located on the arterials. So it is a on-site solar plant, produces more power than it needed to charge our electric buses. This means that our electric bus system is truly emission-free. Because in Turkey, if you use electricity, so it's not an emission-free. So for per kilowatt of electricity, so you have to have like 500 grams of carbon dioxide is used. So by using solar power by the electricity in the electric buses, so it is a full emission-free public transportation. So also the transparency and accountability is also important. So we have a public-facing dashboard showcasing the environmental benefits of our electric bus project. So this dashboard provides a real-time key metrics, allowing students to see positive impacts of initiative. And as you can see here, electric buses carried out more than 12 million passengers since the project began. So, and how much fuel is avoided and then carbon dioxide emissions avoided is also shown dynamically in real time. Also, Izmir is committed to promoting the cycling as a sustainable, healthy mode of transportation. So we have developed more than 100 kilometers of dedicated bus routes. So we are planning to increase these routes to connect towns and key transport points, further enhancing the accessibility. Promoting the cycling not only reduces the gas emission, but also improves the public health and reduces the traffic congestions. Also, there needs to be a seamless and integrated transportation system that prioritizes sustainable mobility. So we implemented the bike solutions that complemented the bus, subway, and ferry services. For example, our buses are equipped with the bike racks. So in front of the buses, there is bike racks so that the owner of the bike can put the bikes and then travel with bus. Also, bikes are allowed in the metros and ferries. And ferries, when you use bike in the ferries, it's almost free. So when you go to the ferry with the bike, so there is very small amount of fare is applied. So we believe that the integrated approach encourages the multimodal transportation and reducing the reliance of the private vehicles. As everywhere in all over the world, Izmir has also faced multiple climate-related and geological disasters in the recent years: wildfires, heavy rains, storms, coastal floods, droughts becoming more frequently as everywhere. For example, the last year shows both the frequency and the magnitude of these events are increasing. And this highlights the Izmir's growing vulnerability to the climate change. So urgent adaptation and mitigation strategies are needed to minimize future effects. Izmir faces multiple climate hazards, 14 high-risk threats, including extreme floods, droughts, and forest fires. So high-risk hazards such as extreme precipitation, fluvial and urban floods, and forest fires are already impacting city, as I told you before. So we are very excited that we started a new project called Crisis as a part of a Climax project, because the risk assessment is very crucial, in which we need high resolution neighborhood level climate analysis. So in this project, we will have a citywide risk vulnerability assessment. So we had analysis in RCCAP, but it's not the special location-based analysis. But in this one, we will have a more high resolution analysis. We will do it with in the center part of the city. And based on these findings, for this detailed risk analysis, we will have a better prepared action plan. And this is an example what we are going to have. So this is the initial findings. So, and this is a projection, how many heat waves we were going to have in the future. Based on that, vulnerable population heat islands. So we will have the areas that is very vulnerable. So then we will have more actions on these very red areas, for example. So it's very quite important project to me. And some other concrete measures. So we have a new zoning regulations. For example, one key regulation mandates significantly tree planting. So 1 tree for every square meters of open space. And most of the properties directly combating the urban heat islands effect. Another part of regulation prioritize geothermal or natural gas heating in new buildings where infrastructure is available. For larger plots, for example, over 100 square meters, rainwater harvesting systems are now required, and the collected water is then reused. So this is important for the conserving valuable water sources. For the large buildings, green roof are mandatory, providing multiple benefits for reducing runoff and improving insulation to enhancing urban biodiversity. So this kind of policy level regulations are very important to achieve a greener and more climate resilience future. Great example of nature-based solution action there is in İzmir's Mavişehir stream ecological corridor. So it is like a 41 square meter green belt is created. It is a great model to replicate in other parts of the city. So municipality gained significant experience on this through this project. So benefits are numerous, like reducing carbon emissions, reducing the urban heat island effect, and also increasing the biodiversity. So it provides accessible green spaces for the public, areas for the creation, sports, and children. And also one of the important things is it strengthens the stream connection to the sea. So it uses permeable surfaces to help groundwater and reduces the flood risk. And one of the last example, the center part of the city is very vulnerable to the flooding from the sea, which has negatively impacted by many people and business so far. And as you can see here, these are some examples what happened before. So in order to address this, a newly built project represents a major upgrade to the Izmir's, this part of the Izmir, we call it Cordon, centered around like a 1.7 kilometers temporary stone wall. So the wall has 30 emergency gates, plus significant improvements to the ground and landscaping. I'll show you some of the pictures here. The wall is here. So there is like 600 new drainage poles, asphalt. There used to be asphalt here. So it is being replaced with permeable green areas, water retaining, saltwater resistant plants. So we planted like thousands of shrubs and hundreds of trees. So benefits are substantial. It prevents flooding and reduces the storm impacts. So through these improvements, another like a 6,000 square kilometers new green space is created. Now, like it is more walkable. So it's more accessible. Lighting system is upgraded. Public safety is improved as well. So thank you for your attention and for the opportunity to share Izmir's climate action efforts with you. So we are very committed to building a sustainable and resilient city for our citizens. We welcome collaboration and knowledge exchange to address the global challenge of climate change. And finally, we believe that together we can create a better future for our cities and our planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daglar, for showcasing these best practices and measures implemented by Izmir. So before we leave the floor to participants for their questions and answer, Andrea Moro will be back now to present hints on example of successful application. Andrea?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will, of course, present examples of well-developed indicators in previous application forms, in particular from the last edition. I will show you something from the Genoa application form and the Izmir application form. Before moving to the examples, I would like just to complete the presentation of the application form so that you can also better understand what I'm showing you. First of all, this application form, you can download it from the award website, both in a PDF or Word version, and you should use it as a guiding document in the preparation of the online application form. Basically, the application form has an introductory part where you provide data about your city, and there are some generic text box where you have to provide information about the motivation of participation, the vision of your city, what are the main environmental problems for your city, the progress you achieved in general, not by indicator, if you have to present success stories, and if you have already received maybe an award in the past. And then also it's interesting to understand if you are already allocating responsibilities in terms of management, regulation, plans, development inside the municipality. For instance, we had a very interesting example from Genoa, where they have developed a very good vision supported by an overarching plan, plus sectorial plans, and they also organize inside the city the different departments to support the deployment of those plans. So here, topic by topic, we ask you to tell us how you have organized the city in this sense, and then we ask you some generic information describing the city as a size of the city, the distance from the coast, coastline length, etc. Then you find, of course, the different macro indicators organized in the 4 macro themes. So the first one is nature, biodiversity. And here you find the template of the information you have to provide. We already went through climate change mitigation in the previous presentation, but each macro indicator has a first section where you have just to say yes, no to answering questions in the way that we can understand what is the approach of the municipality to the specific issue. In general, it is demanded if you are addressing this issue, if you have a plan, if you have a strategy, if you have a vision, if you have set objectives. And then you find, of course, the second section in each macro indicator, the B section, where you have to describe the present situation. And then you have, of course, to provide, if you have it, the value for some quantitative indicators. Always from the award website, you can download the calculation guideline that is the document that will guide you through the calculation of these quantitative indicators. And then you find the C section about the past situation, the D section about future plans, the E section where you can provide links to relevant documents. As I told you already, we have 9 macro indicators. The first is on mitigation. The second is about ecosystem protection. So we talk about biodiversity, ecosystem services, and green infrastructures. And again, for each macro indicator, the text is guiding you here about what kind of information you should provide concerning the present, future, and actual, the present, past, and future situation. So each macro indicator is structured in the same way. Just to have a very rapid overview, the third macro indicator is about sustainable land use and green areas. So here is about how you're addressing for instance, the issue of urban sprawl, how you are preserving biodiversity in your city, how you are guaranteeing the access to shore, beaches, if you are promoting urban agricultural land. And for instance, in this indicator, you find more quantitative metrics to provide. Again, you are allowed to provide the information for the metrics that you have quantified. And we also ask you to provide us an indication about the year in which this information has been produced, just to understand if it is something recent or maybe quantified in the past. The different indicators in this B section is useful in the evaluation for better focusing, let's say the aspects of this issue in the city, quantity of green areas, availability of green areas, accessibility of green areas, quantity of beaches, etc., so that we can also better evaluate the information you are providing in the text boxes. We'd also talk about air pollutions. We want to understand if you have plans, what kind of measures you are implementing, what is the level of this pollution in terms of mean annual concentration, for instance, if you are monitoring this pollution in your city, and again, measure progress achieved from the past, what are your plans for the future. We have an indicator, macro indicator about water. We talk about, of course, both water consumption and wastewater management. If you have plans for water management, if you have planned for wastewater management, if you have implemented actions to reduce water consumption, to prevent water pollution, if you are involved in citizens in this topic. And again, we ask you to describe the present situation, to quantify indicators. In this case, we are talking about the efficiency in water use, so we can understand if your, for instance, water distribution network is efficient, or if there are many losses, if the level of water treatment and the availability of water plant, etc. This could be different among the different cities in the north, maybe south or east part of the Mediterranean. Then in the C section, social, economic, and cultural sustainability, we have one indicator, macro indicator concerning green economy and eco innovation. So here we are addressing the circular economy, the fact that the municipalities may be promoting green skills, green jobs, and for instance, also promoting local markets to promote the local economy. Here we address a range of really different topics. Again, have a look to the guide in text because you should provide information about also the approach to digital transformation. It means reducing consumption of materials, circulation approaches, how you are promoting green public procurement that triggers green jobs and eco innovation. Also here there are some quantitative indicators, number of public tenders in GPP that you have issued, and other information. The final section is is about planning and management, and there are three macro indicators. In environmental governance, we want to know if the city has a vision and what are the main characteristics of your policy framework, if you have dedicated budget to support this vision, if you have set an administrative sector to support the planning of this vision, if you have set up a system for managing for the environmental managing. So here is to understand the in general vision policy framework to support this vision and how this vision is progressing over time. In the part concerning planning and management, we want to understand if you have an overarching plan, how you are connecting the sectorial plans, if you are involving citizen in planning in planning this sustainable development, if you have implemented the monitoring system. For instance, Stefania Manca from Genoa, they told us they have a cockpit of more than 100 indicators, a dashboard that is used for monitoring the impact of the different actions of the different plans. This is providing information good for decision makers, because at this point you can evaluate the results of your measures. You can also maybe make adjustments to if necessary, or you have the confirmation that what you are implementing is working. So again, here we don't have quantitative indicators, because it is more a qualitative evaluation. We are talking about processes. Again, so past, present, future situation, please rely on the description so that you can provide the information it's requested by the application. Finally, the last indicator is about communication and outreach. So here is we are addressing the topic about if the city, the municipality is organizing raising awareness campaigns to raise the awareness of the citizens in regards to the different sustainability topics. If you are organizing, supporting training programs, education programs, etc. And again, each different paragraphs is asking for information. I show you some examples from the two application forms. For instance, these are application forms coming from the past participation. They are not, let's say, in the form of the template. These are the application form as downloaded by the online tool, the same tool you will use for introducing the information for the application form. I start, for instance, from Izmir, and this is, for instance, the indicator concerning the water issue. And you see the first part is the approach of the city. Here we have all yes, yes, yes, yes. So it means that the city is well considering this topic. And then you have the description of the present situation. As you see here, what is positive is that the city provided lots of numbers, figures, other than informing that they have a plan for managing the water, the water issue. Here we have lots of information about the level of consumption in the city, how this consumption is decreasing, the fact that what is the percentage of the population served by having access to to potable water, and the reduction of leakages, and also the approach they have as Izmir as a sponge cities, the fact that they have implemented solar power plants to also for reducing the energy consumption, considering the water treatment and the water distribution. So there are lots of numbers that provide a good picture and also allow us as evaluators to understand better the performance of the municipality. They also have quantified, you see here, the different indicators we were asking for, and then they produce the same level of information for the other sections. So, for instance, this is the progress from the past. They told us how they improved. For instance, they improved rainwater lines over time, collecting rainwater for water saving purposes. they told us that in the past they have implemented a drinking water master plan, sludge management master plan, to reduce the impact of these sludges that is a result of the wastewater treatment, information campaigns, distribution of water-saving devices among the inhabitants, and they also provided information about the plans for the future. So in the coming years, they will construct 10 renewable energy plants to reduce the impact of sludge. These are sludge drying units to reduce the volume of sludges. And then also that there will be construct additional treatment plants, and the rainwater line will be extended from the 740 kilometers up to more than 1,000, and in the way to reduce the impact also of heavy rain, so reducing the risk of flood and etc. So this is, and I, of course, here you have the key, some key references that it's possible also to identify in the online, that you can, as expert, we can, of course, analyze and understand. From Izmir, I want also to show you another macro indicator. This is the indicator about the use of land, and this is also very well developed, and this in this macro indicator, it's there are we have also, again, we have information about the results of some measures. They have established a department, so we know that they have organized a department in the city for managing, for instance, the urban agriculture. The importance of urban agriculture in Izmir, because it's producing really a large amount of food. They are creating producer to public interfaces for supporting local farmers. There is a plan for creating a city in harmony with the nature. They are organizing youth camps also for public awareness in this field. They quantify the different, of course, indicators, not all, because again, if you have the information, you can include the number. If you don't, leave blank the field. It's a complementary information in the evaluation, and they also provided information about the plan for sorry, the progress they had in the last 10 years, also telling us how much quantity of green areas the city gain in the last years. They have a framework for green focus adaptation of Izmir. They have a urban green infrastructure strategy, and they have achieved many interesting results. They have this calm city approach. And then we have a description about what is the vision for the future. They are going also to implement a geographic information system to support analysis and evaluation of results achieved. Moving to Genoa, and Genoa, as you have seen, in reality, from both the presentation, Genoa and Izmir, we are dealing with two really front runner cities from the point of view. They are very well organized. They have a vision. They both have an overarching strategy. They have several sectorial correlated plans. So they are very well organized. And this is emerging, the application form, because each macro indicator you are assessing, you understand there is a plan, there is a vision, there is an organization in the city. This is the progress. These are the measures we are implementing actually. So really, congratulations to both cities for the work they are doing. And for instance, this is the application, the winning application, in the last award, and this is the indicator about the governance, and here we can see, I mean, the description about the approach from the vision perspective and let's say the plans that are supporting this vision. It has been very well illustrated by Stefania before. This is an overarching strategy, the Lighthouse 2050, and several plans that are connect to this vision, to these overarching plans that are addressing different topics in a very well integrated way. As she told us, they are mainstreaming ESG criteria in the strategic document. This is typical of the private sector. So having also municipality moving in the environmental sustainability, social and governance ESG criteria is something really innovative, and they have many different sectorial plans. They have they had a sustainability energy plan that evolved in a SECAP, so in a sustainable energy and climate adaptation plan, and this is under the umbrella of the Lighthouse City strategy. And also it has been very well described. So you see some, this is something coming strange characters, but it's due to the download of the document. They also quantified that the progress is reached in different fields. They point out the fact they organize a framework of 160 indicators for managing the progress, monitoring the progress of the city, and they are involved in several different initiatives, and also the plan for the future is to follow in this direction. Always from Genoa, I show you also something more. We heard Stefania also talking about mitigation, and the city is very well organized from the point of view of reducing CO2 emissions in the city. They join the covenant of mayors. They have a plan supporting the decarbonization of the city. They set a clear target, so it's 40% reduction compared to the 2005 baseline value, and they also have a front runner projects to move in this direction. They were able to quantify the emissions per inhabitants. This is very useful for us to understand also the level of impact the city is creating. And they also described from the past the different interventions they did, the collaborations they have, for instance, with the university, the local university, and also with the regional energy agency. And so they also explain how from the past they have organized an energy office, and they have created a technical support structure. So it's a way also to show how they organize this improvement from the past, and then and they also explain how they have found the funds for supporting the implementation of different measures. And for the future, they described the priority axis of interventions and the fact that there is a composite action plan. So they gave a clear idea about, they have a vision, they have well organized, they know where to go, and they have also an idea about where to find the budget, and they also provide information about how they have organized the city to reach this climate mitigation. I provide two more additional examples. This is, for instance, always from Genoa, and this is, for instance, about quality of air. In reality, Genoa is in a good position. In general, coastal cities don't have big issues about the quality of air. It may happen if traffic is not well organized, if there is a lot of vehicular traffic, air pollution can be an issue. But in also for this topic, they are doing well. They are working on electrification in mobility, but also for what concern the maritime activities. They have a plan for a green fleet for the municipalities, and they provided the values for the different indicators concerning what is the level, the mean level of pollution. And there is a resolution of the municipal council that define the lines for reducing, for improving the quality of air. This is from the past, so that over time, in the last 10 years, they have implemented measure for improving, reducing, sorry, the pollution, improving the sustainability of mobility through electrification, encouraging the use of sustainable vehicles, and they are also participating in projects, in different projects, funding also budget for testing, improving those different approaches. And there are actions in the action plan Genoa 2050. There is one action called the Sustainable Connection that basically is targeting to improve the infrastructure in the way to create carbon-free corridors, basically. And they also indicated where they are funding the budget for sustaining these approaches. And I would say I just show you a last indicator from Genoa. This is about basically the ecosystem biodiversity protection, and in this case they showed us to have a green strategy in place. They are monitoring the biodiversity in collaboration with the region. They were partner also in research projects targeting these specific issues, and they are carrying out activities concerning urban forestation projects. And also they provided quantitative indicators and information about the progress from the past, the measures they implemented, the collaboration they have established with different local, regional stakeholders, and they also produce an information about the future plans, the future targets they want to reach. So this is the content, basically, of an application form. I'm just moving down. This is an application form from the past award. So the version this round is simplified. In the previous edition, there were 15 macro indicators. This time there are 9, and also the text request is shorter. Nevertheless, it's very important for receiving a good evaluation that you follow the guiding text in the shown in the application template, application form template, so that in the evaluation we can really understand the value of what you have done, and we can award your efforts. Just a last indication. This is the award website. So it's inforac.org YEFCA, it's Istanbul Environmental Friendly City Award. Moving down here, this is the link here for downloading the application form. And this is the link here for downloading the calculation guideline. I want just to make a 2 minutes comment on the calculation guideline. Okay, just let me share the right window. Okay, here we are. Okay, so this is this calculation guideline. Have you seen in the application form we request, if possible, to provide information on some specific indicators, or share a percentage of green areas in your cities, CO2 emissions, quantification in tons equivalent per inhabitants, etc. And this document basically is describing the different indicators and how to calculate them. So for each indicator, you have a series of information plus the assessment method. So you have to identify in this document the indicator request in the application form, and you can evaluate if you have this information or if you are able to calculate the value of the indicator. I'm very glad that Stefania Manca said this has been a useful exercise for Genoa. I know that indicators is something not really loved usually by professionals or technicians, but we think that indicators are very useful because they provide objective information. And if you have access to objective information, you can also take wiser decisions for the future. And really, I appreciated the fact that she said the participation in this award can be an occasion for you to make a survey about the data available in your city and maybe to understand how better make them organized and accessible from the different stakeholders. So this is just a recommendation. Pay attention to this opportunity to express the performances of your cities through numeric indicators. In any case, again, if you don't have this quantification, if it is not possible to, let's say, calculate the indicators, you can leave the values blank. We will, during the evaluation, rely on the information you have provided in the different text boxes. So that's all from my side. Of course, there is a question and answer session coming. So if you have any clarification, needed clarification, we are totally available. So I give the floor back to Julia.
Yes, just to mention that the answer and question session is not foreseen, but we have the help desk. So we have about 20 minutes more or less to answer the question that the participants might have. So for this, I kindly ask the participants to raise hands. So the floor is yours now. Any questions from you? We have sometimes, if you have already started the application, to answer concrete questions. So just feel free to ask them. Well, I guess the questions will come later, maybe through the help desk that we have established on the website. So perhaps we will conclude this session now. Just to remind you the next steps. So for the timeline of this award, the application period is now open until mid-April. Then the applications that will be received will be assessed by the jury from June to September, more or less. And between September and October, the Secretariat will notify the winning city. And the award giving ceremony is organized in December during the COP. Carolina, I don't know if you want to say anything else, or maybe Patrizia.
Hello. Thank you, Julia, and thank you also to all the colleagues that have contributed from the municipality of Genoa and Izmir with their experience, with their importance experience, and thank you also to the expert Andrea Moro that has provided such a detailed and useful insight on the application. It is very much welcome, very concrete. We look forward to receive the applications. We believe it's really a good opportunity. We forgot to mention that the winner city, one or a couple of representatives from the winner city will have their travel, their mission in Cairo covered by the initiative. Voila, so good luck, good work. I hope you find this opportunity interesting, and please, as already mentioned, do use the help desk in case you have any question, any doubt, and so forth. Thank you very much for participating, and please share the information with your network, with the network of cities that you are in contact with. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
and thanks
you.
to the interpreters as well.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, look forward to receive those applications and questions or anything, just to animate you all to engage in this initiative.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.